Testing, testing. What's up, chat? What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Kev, you might need to move a little bit just because, because the camera is gonna keep you a little bit out of focus unless we're at the same distance. That's all.
All right. What's going on, guys?
Yeah, just checking in with the chat. What's up, chat? Seeing you guys. How's it going? What's up? Welcome to episode number 2. Sweet. Glad the test is working.
Yeah.
I know.
Thanks, Tech Vlogs, Texas.
Yeah. What's up, guys? So I am. So first off, just what's up to everybody on the live stream. We're just hanging out for a little bit, a few more minutes, just see if a few more people want to trickle in before we actually get started. Checking in with the chat. What's up, guys?
Oh, thank you, Alfredo. Coming in nice and clear.
Hey,
all
buddy.
Right, cool.
How's it going? Cool. Glad we're coming in clear. Glad you guys can hear us. I've done some testing. I know the stream's a little bit late today, and that's because I wanted to make sure that all of my testing was done. I know some people had some issues with the audio last time, and I just wanted to make sure that this time around it was working and it was good. What's up, guys? My name is Fran, and welcome to Data Dump Live, episode number 2. I'm joined today with a really good friend of mine. This is Kev. Say what's up to the people,
What's
Kev.
going on, guys? My name's Kev.
So, Kev, before I get started, because people, for the most part, everybody knows me. Why don't you tell everybody about yourself, a little bit about yourself?
Well, I guess 9 to 5. I'm the big tech guy, helping out some startups, and outside of that, do some crypto stuff. Got a small little podcast getting off the ground there. So if anyone cares about crypto, feel free to chat me. I can give you more there. But yeah, another cool tech guy in the space, like Fran.
Yeah. So Kev is a fellow technologist. We both work in the technology industry. He knows a lot about tech. I felt like I wanted to do the first episode with him, but we had some scheduling issues. But I always feel like having 2 people on a stream like this where we can have like a really good dialogue, obviously also with you guys in the chat as well, but just having a back and forth dialogue with another technologist just seems to really help with a lot of the conversation. And I'm less nervous about talking into the camera if ever. So what's up, guys? Welcome to episode number 2. As always, we're going to be doing some awesome giveaways at the end of this actual live stream. But just to, cool. We're just going to be talking about a bunch of technology news, things that happen. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the chat. Either me or Kev are going to, we'll continuously refer to the chat and get all your guys' questions if you have any. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So honestly, we're just going to jump into a couple of conversations and a couple of topics. Also, if you guys have any cool articles, I don't know if YouTube allows you to leave them in the actual chat, but leave them in the chat. I mean, we're a small enough group to actually kind of jump in and do things like that. So if you guys want to talk about anything that maybe I don't know too much about, let me know. Also, kind of on that note, just so you guys also know, Kev is more like enterprise. He's not really like gaming enthusiast, even though like he knows a lot about tech.
Yeah, I'm a console gamer. Like Master Race, I totally respect you guys.
Yeah,
but I just like to sit on my couch with my PS4 controller.
So he's more of a console guy. So with that being said, go easy on him. I'll probably be taking more of the little bit more gaming PC enthusiast stuff for talk. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump right into this, and we're going to kind of go over a couple of news articles. So, of course, starting off with the top news that's been going along all around the internet, the Apple event. So Apple, yes. April 12th, Apple had their event where they unveiled the brand new iPhone as well as a couple other products. So I know I did an entire video on it, but I did want to have a little bit of a conversation with Kev and with you guys as well about the brand new Apple products. I know sometimes, Apple, trust me, I have a love-hate relationship when it comes to Apple. Sometimes they do great things, sometimes they do stupid things. Either way, it's undeniable that they are a market leader, whether you are an Android user or an iPhone user, or if you're a Windows or Mac OS. Generally, somebody's going to copy off of. So Microsoft's going to copy Apple, Apple's going to copy Microsoft. Same thing when it comes to Android.
I don't even think like Windows really exists anymore.
Well,
it's less than 5% now?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's not that low. No.
Really?
I mean, we're talking Windows it's got to be 50% adoption rate. Remember, we're in the Mac world, but there's a ton of companies out there that all they use is Windows.
Are you talking about like with computers, or are you talking about mobile?
I'm talking about computers.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. I'm not talking. No, Windows Phone is dead. We all know that.
I was about to say, okay.
Yeah. Windows Phone is dead. All right. So anyway, jumping into the conversation. Yes, iPhone X is expensive. That's a good one. I might steal that. I got to tweet that. Okay, so cool. So first off, let's talk about the Apple Watch. So Apple, and I have some notes here, so bear with me if I'm using this little spiral notepad because I have some notes in here I'm going to be referring to. Let's talk about the Apple Watch. Okay, so it seems like during the actual event, Apple was really big on the health initiative. Tell me if you disagree. So they're really big on the health initiative. The Watch Series 3 was probably one of the surprises that I felt when it came to this whole announcement.
What makes you say that?
I didn't expect it. I wasn't looking at any rumors when it came to the Apple Watch. I literally was like iPhone. That's all I really cared about.
Oh yeah, iPhone is gonna be like the landmark, but they're definitely gonna like release a revision to the watch.
Well, I get that. I didn't expect it. So
Okay.
primarily, what I'm trying to say is I didn't expect them to do so much with the Apple Watch, right? I didn't even expect the Apple Watch Series 3 because they just came out with Series 2. In January, February?
Yeah.
They spoke about the new Watch OS, and I figured if they did come out with a new watch, we would have heard some rumors. And the reason why we probably didn't hear any rumors is because they didn't change the body. So anybody who's working out of the factory, the only thing they probably knew is that, hey, look, it's the same Apple Watch. We're doing the exact same thing. Maybe we're changing the button, but there wasn't enough to go on. Hold on. The Palm Pre is alive.
I miss the Palm Pre. I gotta be honest, man. I really do miss that.
Hold on, we're getting off topic. Let's go back.
I mean, all right. So I of course they were gonna do a revision to the watch.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be like that next product line that goes parallel to the iPhone, where it's like, okay, you have a new iPhone, you definitely have a watch that complements it, and they're gonna find a way to keep those two, like, you know, going along as like this is the pair that you always will have on you.
Right.
But was interested to see how they made the switch where it's like all the health initiatives are like kicking up now, where it's like, I mean, I guess it's the number one watch. I never thought it would be.
I still don't believe that. I mean, when I saw those statistics, I honestly feel like Apple does that with a lot of things. They fabricate it. They get a very small control group, and they only like test Apple users, right? And of course, the Apple user is going to say, "Oh yeah, I use an Apple Watch." I think that's BS. I think there's plenty more Casio watches and G-Shock watches out there in the world than an Apple Watch. I would say Apple Watch is probably more popular. The more popular of the smartwatches, absolutely.
I think that's what they're going for. I don't think they're trying to compare themselves to the masses of just generic watches that are out there.
Sure. I mean, but still, even the Moto 360, I've used that watch. That's a good watch. What else? Help me out, somebody. What other Android watches?
Fossil and the rest of those guys are starting to get into the game now too.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put them in the popularity contest against Apple Watch.
Other than so there's Moto, and then doesn't Samsung have one? What's Samsung's watch?
Samsung's watch is the 360. That's what I'm talking about.
That is?
Yeah.
I thought
that's the only.
I thought that in the Moto.
No. Those are different watches.
Yeah.
Oh, Motorola 360.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Motorola 360.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Samsung,
So Samsung,
I think it's called the Gear.
The Gear 360.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the Gear 360.
I mean, I honestly barely see other smartwatches as much as I used to. Like, I would say within the past few years, I've been seeing more Apple Watches now than I've been seeing more Android. Like,
I mean, I wear an Apple Watch, but it's a fashion statement. This thing is not on. It's never working. I know I'm probably gonna get flack for that. I actually like it. I like the way it looks.
Asus has an Apple Watch.
Yeah,
it has a watch.
Asus does have a watch.
Okay, didn't know that.
There's a lot of smart watches out there. Now, the thing about the Apple Watch for me, and just so we're getting off topic again, but so the Apple Watch has always just been a notification device. All it's done for me is check text messages. That's it, right? It's all I've ever done with an Apple Watch. Now, when it comes to the Apple Watch Series 3, this is the first time I actually looked at the Apple Watch and said, whoa, I would actually use this watch. I wouldn't say as a replacement for my phone, but I would definitely say if I'm on vacation at a resort and I'm going to the beach, I'm not going to bring my phone. If I had cellular service, I'm not going to bring my phone.
See, that's what I was stoked about, because I personally got this because I cycle a lot. So I was like, okay, great. With Strava, I could just throw this on and ride, but I still have to keep my iPhone so they could like send the data and like all whatever stats to it. Right. Now, like it has LTE, I could totally ditch my phone.
Right, exactly.
Because you're able to ditch your phone technically before, and it would like cache everything and still operate. But then when it gets back in touch with your phone, it would send all the data back.
Right, and it would also, but it would also work through iCloud. So if you like, say if you're in the office and you're walking around and you're connected to Wi-Fi, you can still receive phone calls. You can do all that stuff as long as you're on Wi-Fi. And that was really cool. But now the Apple Watch has now become an independent device. On top of it, now you can connect your AirPods. Now that's freaking cool. Like that idea alone is sick. Like that will actually get me probably abandoning my phone more than anything.
Well,
now,
you were able to connect the Bluetooth headset to your watch before.
I didn't.
With Series 2, yeah.
Well, you can't connect the AirPods, and those are the only ones I use.
No, it's just the same way you would connect Bluetooth.
Okay, all right, okay. So whatever. Point being is, now that you can, whatever, whether you could or couldn't back in the day, now that you can, I think it's super sick, and I am extremely excited to see I'm extremely excited to see this watch. I got one. It's on its way.
Yeah, I still got to get my hands on one.
Yeah, I got mine. It's on its way, and I'll be bringing you guys a review on all the 3 new products, whether you like it or not. I'll be bringing you guys reviews because it's technology, right? And I truly don't believe that everything that Apple always drops is cool. So anyway, the pricing. We don't know about the pricing. I think it's moderately priced. I think at 300. What was it?
The low-end one was 330. 329.
It was 329. So,
and then the next one up was with LTE was close to 400.
Right, but you also have to consider they're not telling you about the proper size. So we're men, right? We have big hands.
So I got the 42 millimeter. How much is?
I ended up paying $450.
Okay, after taxes. And fees?
After tax, yeah, it was about $450. So with that being said, it's a lot more than the pricing that they're saying, at least for people with big hands or big arms.
Yeah.
And I get the bigger face size, so. Yeah, it was a lot more expensive than $349. But point being is it's possible to get one for $349. I think the cellular was $399. That's what I have here in my notes. And that's the one that you want, and that's a lot more expensive.
How much is the data plan?
So, okay. So that's actually interesting to talk about. That sort of segues us into some more other topics. But apparently the data plans are fairly expensive. T-Mobile, at least, which is my carrier and the only one that I actually know about, has decided to do $10 unlimited LTE to your watch.
That's not bad. I thought it was going to be more than that.
Cheap. Yeah, dumb cheap.
Okay.
And it won't be a separate number. It's going to integrate with your if you use
your same number, you don't have to get another number. I'm curious, like, how the heck does that work?
It's just like with your iMessage, right? If you're in iMessage and you're on a computer, you can text message. So I'm pretty sure all it is data.
Okay.
It just syncs through iCloud and everything.
And then iCloud probably regulates. Okay, cool.
Anyway, Apple Watch, I think it's pretty cool. Out of all the Apple Watches, out of all the smartwatches, I still think it's the best. I'm an iPhone user, so that's why I'm an Apple Watch user. If I ever found an Android phone, which I think I'm going to do a challenge where I switch to Android.
You've done this before, though.
I know I've done it before, but Android is almost there's one component that I can't get rid of, and that's iMessage. That is the only thing holding me back from switching to an Android phone. Android is a great platform, and I would use it if it had some sort of iMessage. And I don't think what's the name of the messenger again?
Duo.
No,
I think Duo might be FaceTime.
Duo is dope
Duo might be their version of FaceTime.
Okay, so whatever the chat app is dope, but there's not enough people that are on it. And if that ever happens, that's when I will make that switch. Okay, so anyway, moving on. Apple TV 4K.
Yeah.
WTF? We just got a new Apple TV.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't they do 4K the first time around?
Why
are they doing it now?
I think they're trying to figure out either deals. Because they were initially supposed to come out with a whole TV shebang, whatever, and then after Jobs passed away, it was just like everyone was anticipating a TV, and then you got this cool new Apple TV, and then they were just doing the whole, great, this would be your hub, like how you would with like your Amazon Fire Stick and everything. They probably cut deals for 4K content now that they can push through the iTunes store and then like all the other stuff that they kind of solicit. So I think that's probably what they were waiting for to make that next jump.
Okay, that's fine. You can say that, but why now? Like, why?
But more people, I think the general people who aren't into tech, and in the sense of trying to understand the difference between 4K and just regular, I think it's way more popular now than what it used to be.
Okay.
Because I feel like if you go to Best Buy now, right,
Mm-hmm.
4K TVs are a lot cheaper than what they used to be like last year or the year before.
Interesting.
So I feel like more people are getting 4K TVs now than they did like the years prior.
Uh-huh.
So they probably saw that. And then I would generally feel Apple always waits at least a year or two to implement something that is a standard for everyone else.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I believe you. I think they do that. It's just interesting to me to see that 4K has been a thing for a long time, right? The only thing I could think of is that they didn't have a processor powerful enough. Like maybe they're just. I mean, they boasted the A10X, which is the same processor that's in the new iPad Pro.
I wonder if the price went up. Is it? So are they still selling?
So it's the same price.
Oh,
okay. $179.
Yeah. Nah, this. I think it's movie deals then. Like was it?
Yeah,
like
that's actually what. That's actually yeah. That's the only thing I could think of, right? Like they didn't have a deal for. I don't understand why now, and I heard rumors from a person at Apple who would know about this stuff saying that would you buy an Apple 4K TV? And then when the next one was announced, it wasn't 4K, so I was like. WTF, I was really confused. And then now suddenly they have this 4K Apple TV. It confuses me. They could have done it before. You're going to have a bunch of pissed off people who just bought Apple TVs. And
how much is the Apple TV now? Like
it's $179. Same thing.
It's almost $200 after
Doesn't make any
taxes.
sense.
Yeah, that I would be pissed off.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. I'd be pissed off if I literally sat back and just bought an Apple TV and then suddenly now we have this.
So But then that comes into factor now. Like once you get that right. So I mean, I don't know how many people actually order stuff off of iTunes, like rent movies and that kind of stuff, compared to Netflix and the rest.
I don't know. They claim a lot of people. I'd say
I'm still surprised when they throw these numbers
that.
up because I don't really think that. I mean, well, then again, maybe general people who live in iTunes because it's such a big standard because they have iPhones probably just end up renting movies there as well. But I don't know that many people with Apple TVs nowadays.
I would not rent a movie from Apple unless somebody gave me a gift card for like.
I would say
for
the
like
same thing.
you know somebody's like, oh, here's a $25 iTunes gift card. Then I would use it for rentals or movies. But I'm sure plenty of people out there do.
Well, I mean, 4K is at this point is being adapted way more across the board. I would agree. Like outside of TVs, like Netflix, all these guys are like pushing it more. Where it's like, all right, you have 4K content like more available to you. I think more and more things that are coming out is in 4K, and it's just now it's at a point like my mom or my grandmother understands like 4K is a thing. Right. So I think it's at that point like, okay, now they can introduce it and throw it out there. I don't know who's gonna adapt it or shell out like almost another $200 for another Apple TV, but we're at the point now 4K is a thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. I am an NVIDIA Shield, so I'm a Google TV user. That's what I use. I love it primarily because you can cast, so you can use Chromecast to
Who
it.
still uses a Mac Mini though?
I mean, I feel like a lot of people use Mac Minis.
To some degree, not as much.
A ton of people use home theater PCs and they use Mac Minis, and they'd rather just have a keyboard and mouse, not have to worry about conversion using Plex, renting movies like that, just using like Usenet or BitTorrent, getting the movies, having it locally on a hard drive. No, Plex can be complex. I mean, no pun intended. No pun intended. No, but downloading. I mean, when if you're downloading a movie, you put it in a folder. Then you have to either have a continuous watch and you got to wait for it to refresh. Sometimes Plex doesn't have the right codec, even though it plays a lot of codecs. Yeah. It doesn't always have the right codec to actually play.
All right, that's true. You run into hiccups there.
So sometimes the actual metadata isn't correct, or you try to play it and it's just wrong.
So it takes some effort. All right. So let's say you had a Mac Mini, then. Realistically, where you're just like on the net, just streaming stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a Mac Mini hooked up to your TV, that's, in my opinion, I feel like that's way better because it's more archaic. You can't sit back with a controller and just kind of do your thing. Okay, so anyway, long story short is Apple 4K. It doesn't make any sense. I'm still gonna check it out. I'm still gonna figure out how good it is. I am not a big 4K content consumer because I don't really see the difference between 4K. I thought I had 4K Netflix for the longest time, and it turns out I was watching 1080p the whole time, and I was so gassed off.
But now they tell you now that it's like.
I know now they tell you, but the thing is, even if they tell you, they can tell you it. If you don't have the plan and you hit play, you're still going to be watching it, and it's going to be high quality. Your TV will upsample it. Okay. And then what happened with me was upsampling it, but I wasn't checking the resolution of the TV, and it was still running at 1080p. So now I have 4K Netflix. I can watch things in 4K, and I can't tell the difference. My TV's 55 inches. Whatever, I can't tell the difference. Point being is, Apple TV 4K is stupid. All right, now, moving on. iPhone 8. What the fuck?
So I call it iPhone same.
Okay.
Because it's just the same shit, being honest. But I feel like they purposely was just like, okay, a lot of people, which I was surprised to see, still held on to their iPhone 6 and iPhone 6s. And they were just like, all right, Apple's going to release a new phone no matter what every year. So I'm just going to hang out and then wait for the new one. So I feel like same form factor, just a bit of a bump. And then it's just like, okay, great. They stretched it so much from a tech spec between that and the X, where it's like everyone's going to go for the X. And then it's like everyone who kind of had something before. It's like, all right, I'll go for the 8. It's only good thing about it, I say, is the wireless charging. If they didn't do that, I don't think anyone would have bought it. Okay,
so my feelings are a little bit different. I agree with you on that. Like, the iPhone 8 is stupid. I don't understand why they made it. It should have been the iPhone 7s. You're 100% correct. It's the dumbest. It was the dumbest. It was the biggest disappointment. I literally wanted to like throw my computer on the floor when I saw they announced it. It made absolutely no sense to me, right? The fact that they didn't even change the design the slightest bit irks me so much. But they are abusing the customer. Nobody cares anymore.
Right. So realistically speaking, right? And which I was surprised to look at. Like, what's the Samsung phone that kind of
the Galaxy S8?
So
wait, somebody in the chat correct me, please. I know it's going to take a while. The Note, I think it's a Note 8. Right.
So the X looks very similar to, as far as like the full screen.
Wait, hold on. Let's not go to the X yet. Let's stay in the iPhone 8 because the X is going to be a bigger conversation.
All right, but so the 8, I don't really think. I mean, in today's world, I don't really think there's much of a design like new thing that you could bring to the table.
Nah, there is. You know what it was? No. Here's what it was. Apple said we have a bunch of iPhone 6s parts or 7 parts.
Oh yeah, of course they're gonna do that.
And we don't want to lose out on this. So how can we reuse these parts?
Yeah,
they probably want to reuse the expensive parts with the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's change the back because I don't know. The back is probably is cheap or whatever. Let's change the back and let's do that. And that's all they wanted to do. And they wanted to screw everybody over and repackage it and charge you more money for it. So now you're paying more money for the last generation. That's
but they do this all the
money.
Apple does this all the time where they recycle whatever and they give you a super low end.
Buying this.
what can you say?
Annoying.
So all right, they're always gonna give you a low end product that's like not worth it.
Right.
And they're always gonna give you something super high end. And they keep it simple where it's like, these are your forks, like in the road, right?
Okay.
And you can either go left or right.
All right.
Period. So I feel like no matter what, people always, it's like, I looked at it, I was like, why are they still selling the iPhone SE? Or why are they still selling?
That's different. I agree with the iPhone.
But I figured they would have changed the design of some of the low end phones and was just like, okay, great. This is a new iPhone SE, which could be like something close to like a 6 or whatever, but just a newer body. Okay. And then give you an 8, which
I don't agree with. I think the iPhone SE has a big place in the market. I feel like there's a lot of people who don't like the new design, who want a smaller phone. Mm-hmm. You know, I know you favored the smaller version of the iPhone.
I just can't stand having an iPad for
I understand. I understand. I'm just saying there are some people out there who do favor smaller phones.
Okay.
And I feel like, and a cheaper phone at that, right? Because if you think about it, the iPhone SE is $400 right now. They probably lowered it to $299, and there's a lot of people who don't want to pay a lot for a phone, but they still want the Apple iOS, and they don't want to use an old version or old phone that isn't in warranty anymore.
Okay.
So the iPhone SE to me makes sense. Doing the iPhone 8 was the dumbest thing in the world. They should have only did the iPhone X, and that is it. That's all I'm saying.
I think. Every rumor was saying like what they had manufacturing issues because this was supposed to have Touch ID. So I think that probably might have been a factor. Where it's just like, okay, we want to deliver a new phone, but the fact that they couldn't do Touch ID, I feel like since it's so implemented in all the new Macs, and then it's like tied into all these things, I think that's a
good point. That's a good point, right? Some people are going to complain about the iPhone X and say, I still want a new iPhone with Touch ID. But then why couldn't they just keep on selling the 7? The 7 is not a slow phone by any means. The 7 is a perfectly fine phone. I don't need to upgrade my phone. I'm upgrading my phone because I'm a technologist.
But you have to come out with something new. And like the only reason why I shouldn't know, they do. Like,
you don't.
But they're a public company, right?
Okay.
And people trade into it. So if they don't come out with a new product,
I'm sure this. I bet you if we check right now, the stock probably went down.
No,
I'm positive to check this anyway. Okay, so
someone look in the chat. Someone in the chat, please look up and see if Apple stock dropped.
I'm sure their stock dropped. Their stock always drops after these events because everybody's normally disappointed. Here's my other thing though, right? Why couldn't they just keep selling the 7 instead of dropping the 8 for people who still want the Touch ID? They've done that in the past, right? They said we want to make cheaper iPhones, so we're going to continue to sell the previous generations.
Okay, and
they're still selling the 6S, aren't they? I believe they are. I know they still sell previous generation. The point being is the iPhone 8, like you said, the iPhone same is dumb. Some of the specs of it I'm going to talk about, but the funny thing is these are the same specs in the iPhone 8, so I don't know if I should really... All right, let's just get into the iPhone 8. Specs, all right. So let's talk about the iPhone X. I'm going to sort of kind of segue this a little bit from the iPhone 8, and I kind of want to... Hold on, let me read the chat real quick, because this is some really interesting conversation. I feel bad that I'm not really a part of it.
They can't produce enough of the X. That's a good point. I feel like the holiday season is going to be important to them, so that's probably why it's coming out around November. I really, honestly do think it's a Touch ID thing.
Yeah, they can reduce. By next time, start developing their own screens. Yeah, I agree.
That makes sense. Alfredo has a good point.
Yeah, by next year. I mean, yeah, once they start manufacturing everything themselves, which they're starting to do.
That's the funny thing, too. I was thinking about that. So Tech Vlogs, he was like, they're going to make a Touch ID dongle. I was thinking about that.
No.
But I was like, people will ape shit.
People will burn. I will personally, let me not say that on the internet. I will be very upset if Apple was to do a Touch ID
But realistically speaking, if they get, because I don't think Face ID would work. But
it doesn't work.
Imagine if everyone... Like, it's basically like, this sucks. I want Touch ID back.
Okay, all right. Okay, so let's do this. Let's segue right into the iPhone X. Okay, so the iPhone X, to me, dope design.
Okay.
I've always admired the Samsung Galaxy phones. They probably are they're beautiful phones. I love looking at them. I have always admired it. When I saw the Galaxy Note 8, I freaked out at how nice it was, even though I've never actually touched one. But when I've actually held a Note in my hand, some dude I used to work with had one. It's a beautiful, beautifully designed phone, and I was very jealous of the design. But I like I said, I won't switch off of iOS because of iMessage. with that being said, looking at the new design on the iPhone X blew me away. I was like, this is dope. Like, this phone looks amazing.
Yeah, it's sexy.
I actually think the Samsung phone looks way better, and I would actually prefer
because of
Apple
no notch
iOS.
at the top.
Yeah, it just looks better. I think that's how they should have done it. Just no notch at the top, and just made it flat. Because all the design I've seen looks so bad. Like, kind of going off. Like, I don't know if you guys seen the Essential phone. The Essential phone sort of has a similar issue, but it's dumb. Like, just make it flat across.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so anyway. Excuse me. The design itself is beautiful. The phone itself, kind of going over some of the specs. So it has a new 6-core Bionic 64-bit processor. Okay, like it doesn't matter to me. Even if it had the old processor, I still
Like no
would have
matter
liked
what,
it.
the phone is fast as hell.
Right, Apple does an amazing job at making hardware that works with their software. So no matter what, whatever processor is in there, 6-core, 12-core, obviously Apple's proving that efficiency is better than pure power because there's 8-core Android phones that can't keep up with the iPhone, right?
Okay.
So the processor and the cores don't really matter. They never talk about the RAM, and that's because they always do a crap job with the RAM because, again, Apple creates devices for efficiency. So it doesn't matter what the RAM is. It's interesting that they have two what was it? It was 4 high-performance cores and 2 efficiency cores.
Okay.
I think the current iPhone has 2 and 2, so it'll be interesting to see, almost like they're doubling their power to see
Makes
how
sense.
that goes. Now, here's something that I found to be very, very interesting: the cameras. So they upgraded to 2 12-megapixel cameras, and both of these cameras are just. I don't want to get too much into photo technology because I'm really into that stuff. But some of the things that I found to be very interesting, and that was actually the most attractive thing about the iPhone 8 as well as the iPhone X, was the new cameras.
Okay.
Now, the fact that they have image stabilization on both lenses is great. The fact that they can now shoot 4K at 60 FPS. I know you're not really a video guy, but that's phenomenal because
definitely that's insane.
you can now take 4K video and slow it down, make everything slow motion. So it doesn't matter what you're shooting, you could make it slow motion. And if you want to shoot 4K 60, you can drop it to 24 and it'll look regular. So you always have that option of slow motion, which is great. You can't do too much slow motion, but you can do some.
So by realistically, between the iPhone 7 Plus, right, and the iPhone X, camera-wise, how much of a crazy bump are we getting?
I'm going to say image quality is going to be minimal, but the 4K 60 is what I'm excited about because shooting anything in 60 FPS, I mean, most people, I know deeper pixels, right? most things that shoot, most cameras nowadays are going to shoot 30 FPS. They're not going to shoot this super high frame rate, right? Most people some people like watching video in 60. I'm more of a cinematic guy, so I actually prefer everything in 24 frames. But people do like, higher frame rates sometimes. I don't, I'll probably always shoot 4K 60.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true tech vlogs. He thinks we're going to go back to the iPhone 8 design afterwards. He thinks like the current X is not going to work out design-wise. They always do. I mean, and someone said this earlier, like the iPhone X is a beta phone. Like they always kind of do it when it's like a risky thing, but they want to introduce it.
Right.
They still give you the old, but all right, try out something new. Because it was the same thing when they introduced the watch. They never talked about the sales figures, all that stuff, and then
the first watch was definitely a beta. 100%.
For sure.
It was
and they didn't say anything about it. They just like let everyone kind of tinker with it, and after a while, then they see like once people figured it out, okay, cool. So I think the X would probably be the same thing. Shoot at 16 sold on 24.
So I'm just like reading the chat, guys. Bear with me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly speaking, I'm excited for it because it's just a design change. I like that they kept the small form factor and didn't just give you a bigger phone. I feel like.
Oh, you mean isn't the iPhone X smaller? I think it's in between the sizes. Yeah, it's a smaller phone. Which I like the big screen of my phone, but they're saying it's the same screen size because the real estate because less bezels. Yeah. The size of the phone, honestly, I have massive hands. It's really, it's fine for me. But yeah, I agree with you. I think kind of doing that is really dope.
I want anything between the iPhone 8 just because of the way it is screen wise and what everyone's used to coming from the 7. How is iOS 11 going to play out on this with apps? Because I feel like they're forcing people to take advantage of those little things around the notch, like up top, and then like just the way you interact with the phone with Face. I feel like that's just going to be a different experience on both ends.
Well, I think that they're going to probably put it in the Swift kit or whatever the developer kit to actually allow people to probably either take advantage of that space or not. I'm sure that's what it is. But
Okay.
so it shoots 4K 60. They went crazy about augmented reality. This is something I don't care about. I don't think anybody's gonna care about this.
I feel like this is just another 3D thing that's
Right.
like gonna happen and then die.
Yeah,
I don't realistically see people in the middle of the street like. Maybe kids be like, oh, that's cool, but I don't think it's going to become a thing.
No, but I do think it has good VR applications. Because it seems like Apple's gun ho in VR, right?
Yeah.
If Apple comes out with a
Everybody
VR,
is.
I know, but if Apple comes out with a VR headset, it's gonna have a massive adoption rate. And if you add augmented reality and you have all this data for augmented reality, now you can create an experience where somebody puts their phone on their face and they can walk down the street now, and now you can sell them advertisements. You can place things.
Of course.
What was
I mean,
the name of
that's
that
what Facebook
movie?
is trying
What was
to
it?
do.
Minority Report. When he had the eye thing and everything he looked at, it was like kind of placed in its place, right?
Yeah.
You can do things like that, and that's the future, right? So this more so might be a data collection effort than
Probably.
an actual,
Okay.
something they want to do. But anyway, point being is the new cameras are cool. That's probably the most exciting thing on the iPhone X. Now, obviously, you have this new Face Unlocked, Face ID, which I think is a complete crock. And I'm gonna go out and say it right now, guys. I'm a black person, and I've had a lot of issues with cameras in the dark. I really have. So I don't believe, and I'm not even trying to make this a race thing or anything like that. I think that on top of the fact that I don't even think on a lighter skinned person it will work well. Because I mean, okay, so and I don't know if you saw what happened on stage, right?
Yeah.
So what they said was, and this is actually problematic, right?
You heard their remarks, right?
Yeah. So the remarks were that the camera, every time somebody looks at it, it's trying to verify. So all the other people who are handling the phone,
it tried to
verify
unlock,
them.
yeah.
And because it was too many times, just like a regular iPhone, now you have to then put in your passcode. That's apparently what happened. That's a problem.
Of course,
that's
it
a
is,
problem.
Ron. I feel like everyone's gonna. This is like the iPhone passcode phone. Like no one's gonna use Face ID because it's gonna trip out too many times, and they haven't explained like, because it does like lift to wake, that kind of thing. So I feel like every single time you do that, it's checking your face. So if anyone else is like just looking at your phone.
Right.
How many attempts do you have to set it like 50 attempts so
right.
you don't?
No, and that's 100%. What I'm saying, like that's problematic because now if I lift my phone, if I want to show my phone to somebody or something like that, and it's going to be an issue. Face ID is going to be a complete failure. Apple's going to either have to admit to this, or they're going to do the Apple thing and continue to force it down your throat, and then everybody's going to be pissed off and switch to another platform, or they can do the Android thing, which they should have done from the first place, and put the Touch ID in the back.
See, that's what everyone was expecting them to do.
Right. Keep Touch ID. I mean, keep the Face ID and just add the button in the back. It's a great design.
And that's the funny thing, too, because I thought it was like maybe Apple is being just like
annoying
about, like we don't want to mess with the design. But then it's like you did this annoying thing with the notch, and then you did the same thing with the camera bump.
Right.
So what's the difference with someone holding it and then you could have, everyone was expecting them to put it where the Apple was.
Right.
So it's like you just place it on
Just
the
do
Apple.
that. I think in the future, now it would be crazy to see if Apple actually admits to their mistakes and changes the design. But if they do that, I'll be very happy because that's a way better design. But Face ID is a failure. I know it's going to be a failure. It's not going to work in dark spaces.
Wait, do you think it's going to be as bad as Apple Maps?
Yes, it's gonna be as bad as Apple Maps. They're gonna keep forcing it down your throat. They're gonna say it's gonna get better over time as it keeps scanning more faces. It also puts into question what people can do with that data. Like, hey, we identified that you're here at this time based on your phone because it unlocked your phone and it did a identification. So now we can say this is, it's just more Big Brother stuff, and that scares me, right? So the point being is, yes, and also like the twin thing. The twin thing is another thing, right? You got other people.
Yeah, there's no way to get around that.
I mean, granted, somebody can just go up to you and put your phone on your thumb right now, right? Or like somebody could do it in your sleep, right? Put your phone on your put your thumb on the phone, right? It does work. So the whole twin thing, I get, but the reality of the situation is anybody can pretty much do that. And
I mean, honestly speaking, like every security thing, and this is just speaking from experience, nothing's perfect.
Yeah. 100%.
So and just because they have to just make everyone happy, they're gonna get like shit for it. But nothing's perfect. Like Touch ID can still be spoofed, or you can still. It's just something's going to happen, but you'll find out via memes after November.
I know.
Like,
we'll see. Oh, I'm gonna put this phone through the ringer. I'm gonna make like a crazy video. I'm gonna put it through the ringer. Face ID as soon as I get one. Let's talk about the price. $1,000. What's your thoughts?
Wait, this is like their first $1,000 phone?
I think so, yeah. Like, it's not the first $1,000 phone.
But I mean, like, starting off?
Apple, I think this is Apple's most expensive phone they've ever made. It's $1,000. and then it's going to be $11.49 for 256.
Yeah. So honestly, from my point of view, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your phone is literally at this point, it is your computer. Like the amount of people that you see just like living in this space, like people nowadays who are like cable cutters, watch stuff on their laptops. They don't even have TVs anymore, right?
Yeah.
And then now a lot of people just do stuff on iPads, right? So I feel like Apple's just getting to that point of trying to just get everybody to feel like the norm, just make this a norm of like, this is now your new computer, because they're all the stuff that they're doing and pumping into iOS 11.
Right.
Me personally, I'm okay with it. I feel like there's a certain like market that this is going to be meant for.
Right.
I feel like anyone else who thinks it's outrageous, which most people are okay with, but that just depends on what you spend on a smartphone, would end up getting the 8 and go that route. Yeah. Or if not, they'll do a subsidized option with their carrier, which I'm pretty sure will be available.
Right, but then that's like $45 a month.
Yeah, but then
that's $50.
Apple. But didn't they sell like the Apple still has that kind of thing where you pay?
Yeah.
So I think they're probably going to sell it like, all right, even though the phone it costs over $1,000, you could still use.
Of course they're going to do that, but the point is it still costs $1,000. That's a lot of money. So here's my thing. I'm on you. I'm with you on that. What I would say is if this phone went into a docking station then turned into a computer,
that'd be perfect.
Then I'll pay $2,000 for that.
Of course,
I'll pay $3,000.
But that's what they're gonna get to. I think.
But they can do that now. But
they cannot.
Windows Phone has done it.
So, but here's the thing, right? They try. I feel like they try to do this to Windows Phone, and I give Microsoft credit for just basically saying like, "This is the future. Let's jump into it." And everyone was like, "Screw you, we're not about that." But Apple's gradually getting to that point, and you can see it in all the revisions that they're making in iOS, and especially like if you see what they're doing on iPad as well. I feel like probably the next 5 years you'll get to that point of like you can now dock your iPhone, and it's whatever they want to call iOS or OS X at that time and point.
Yeah.
But I think this is a starting mark of like we want people to get to the like used to the fact that this is now your computer. And it could be taken on the go with you.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think, and like a lot of people in the chat are saying, also it's even more expensive in other countries. So there was a joke or a tweet that it's cheaper to come to the U.S. and buy an iPhone than it is to buy one in the U.K. Because I think it was like something like £11.59.
Alfred, I'm not a baller. I'm just a regular person.
All right, but the point is the phone is expensive. I'm gonna get it.
I mean, it is expensive, but realistically speaking, right? Like, I'm trying to think back to, and I feel like depending on where your age is, if you're like not older than I would say 35, you grew into like what cell phones began at, and like up to now. Any new phone that came out back in the day when it was either a BlackBerry or whatever, the average price for that thing was definitely like close to $700, between $500 to $700.
I don't remember that. I wasn't that cool back then.
No, but I'm just thinking of like when you would look and you want to buy something like outright, it was definitely still pricey.
You gotta fix your mic, Kev. We're getting some complaints.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, you should be. Go ahead.
All right. So that's my thing. So yes, it's $1,000. The last like the iPhone 7 when you bought it outright, wasn't it like $850?
Yes.
Okay. So things are only going to get more expensive, I feel.
I agree with you.
And they're just going to keep pumping. Like the more things that they add to the phone, it's just going to jack up more of the value of the phone. But they want people to get to the point where I feel like you're no longer buying a Mac or you're no longer buying like a PC. You're just buying an iPad or an iPhone or both.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. We'll see when we get there. Anyway, so that's enough about the Apple news. I know you guys are probably sick of hearing about this stuff. But like I mentioned before, this stuff is – we're going to see the industry. I mean, we've seen Android try the Face ID thing many times for years now. Samsung's done it. It's failed every time. It's been fooled. Nobody likes it, right? It doesn't work very well. What we'll probably see other people try to adapt the way Apple's done it by adding more sensors. Apparently, I read it's basically like a Kinect sensor.
That's what they say, but we won't know until it comes out.
Right, until we get our hands on it. I think
I'm really curious to see how because I was thinking when they first said it, because I heard the rumors, I was like, okay, this is going to come out great. What happens if I go out, I'm at a bar, it's dark, and I'm already black?
My point.
Obviously.
So what?
How is this gonna play out?
Let's move away from that. But let's just say you're a person and you're in the dark. Let's not even care. It doesn't matter. That
But
you're
that's
black,
what
right?
the infrared is supposed to do.
That's what apparently the infrared is supposed to be able to read your face in the dark. I will put this to the test. Trust me. This is going to be an extensive review I'm going to do specifically on Face ID by itself, and we will find out what the truth is.
Okay.
All right? So anyway, like I said, we're done talking about this stuff for now.
All right.
Let's move on to some of our other subjects. Next, okay, so it kind of is still Apple related, but, not so much. So basically, originally when the Apple Watch was, I think we spoke about this. Let's move on, all right? I'm going to talk a little bit of gaming stuff. So, PlayerUnknown Battleground. I know you don't really play the game.
I started getting into PUBG. I built the rig recently, but is it so? Has this beat out Overwatch? Is this like the new?
Yeah, it's beat out pretty much. It's beat out Dota. So Dota is probably one of the most competitive, crazy games that people play on the internet, and apparently, Battleground PlayerUnknown has actually beat out Dota with online play, and that's crazy. I keep trying to yell at you to play this game, and this game is
cool game.
It's amazing.
I mean, now that it's coming out for Xbox One, I'll get it for Xbox One.
You got to get it on PC, man. I'm trying. The reason why I'm telling you this because people who play this are so much more skilled. No, let me not say that. All right. It's better on PC. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, I agree with you.
You gotta play on PC.
My thing is just the whole carpal tunnel kind of like QWERTY keyboard thing.
You'll get used to it. You will get used to it. Okay,
right.
so anyway,
I don't like getting killed like thousands of times until I get used to
Well, the thing is, the more you play, the better you get. But on the actual subject on the actual subject of the game. So basically, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds has actually beat out for Steam has like a ranking of the top games that are being played right now.
Okay.
And Dota is always at the top.
Dota is a huge game.
It's massive, millions of dollars. But PlayerUnknown Battleground is actually beat that game. Yeah. So according to WCCF Tech, basically 1,305,000 users playing both. This is crazy. That's a lot of people. I guarantee you, once they figure out a competitive mode, this game is going to go competitive, and people are going to probably start making millions of dollars playing this game. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Look at Dota. What was the purse? $16 million. Somebody ended up, and
in a tournament, or are you talking about just like?
In a tournament. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, point being is, that's pretty crazy, and I think it's pretty exciting. Moving on. Okay, so there was a couple leaks the other day about a new GoPro. Now, the GoPro Hero 6 Black. Now, we got the GoPro Hero 5 Black not too long ago.
Yeah.
And now we're receiving a GoPro 6 Black. Now, here's another device that's shooting 4K 60. This is pretty exciting. We've seen a bunch of failures from GoPro in the last couple of months with the GoPro Karma. Terrible drone.
Really?
Funny story if you guys are, well, I don't think if anybody's interested, but actually my GoPro Karma actually fell out of the sky. It's really interesting.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it did. Come on, man, I told you about this. So basically, my GoPro Karma, I got it brand new. I said, yeah, I'm gonna just try it out, see how it works. And the first time I ever took it out, I took it up in the air, and it fell out of the sky. I lost it. Fortunately enough, I was able to get a refund because it became a recall. Okay. And there was a ton of issues.
All right.
And basically what happened was, what was happening was, as the drone tipped, the battery would fall out.
Oh,
so what happened was the battery fell out of place and the drone fell out of the sky.
All right.
Long story short is, now there's a brand new GoPro Hero 6, which also leads us to believe that there's a brand new GoPro Karma drone coming out as well. A new improved, hopefully with more sensors. Most people know I'm huge on drones.
Yeah, you have a one.
Yeah. I'm really big on drones. I love cinematography and videography, especially from the sky. And this is really exciting news. But brand new GoPro Hero 6 Black, it's actually not going to take the place of the existing lineup. Apparently, the 360 camera is going to stay as their flagship.
Okay.
It's called the GoPro Fusion. And then we have the GoPro Hero 6 Black, which is the one I'm talking about, which shoots 4K 60. You're still going to have the GoPro Hero 5 Black, which shoots 4K, up to 4K 30, and then you still have the slow motion 1080p.
So do they still own the market in this sense? Or is it kind of now?
No, it's all over the place.
Yeah. So who's their number two, or who's their number one competitor?
Yi. So a company called Yi, they make action cams that are... they make cheaper action cameras that that they're basically shoot 4K 60, 4K.
Okay.
And all these companies do is they buy sensors from Sony.
Okay.
So they use Sony sensors, and they put them in these like cheap knockoffs with SJ Cam. There's also, like I said, the Yi and a bunch of other ones. So that's what they are.
So you're stoked about this, then? I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, I'm. This is awesome. I can't wait. I'm gonna get my hands on.
I do need
one.
to get my hands on a GoPro because like just from a sports perspective,
it's
like,
fun.
Yeah,
and especially if you ride bikes.
Yeah, there's stuff. There's tons of times I want to get footage. So.
Right.
All right, this is dope though.
I'm going to take a second just to read the chat real quick because I feel like there's a bunch of conversation we're missing out on.
DJI just used. Okay.
Stock went down so much. Yeah, I know. GoPro their stock is hurting so much.
Were they expected to go under, or like I guess after?
Well, that was the thing is, like you said, even though they're not the number one right now, they're still a big player in the action camera market.
Okay.
Now you have to remember a lot of movie studios will actually use these cameras as disposable cameras. I mean, if you look at, I don't know if you saw my Backbone ribcage video, but you take a GoPro, you rip it apart, you put it together, and you throw your own lens on it. You can pretty much do whatever you want with it, right?
Oh, really?
But that's a disposable camera. I mean, you look at so who else? What was I watching? And somebody was talking about how like a Canon Mark V Mark D, which is like a $3,000 camera, is a disposable camera to movie studios because it's a lot cheaper than an Arai, which is like a $30,000, $50,000 camera.
So you could basically still pump out good quality, but they're at a lower end.
Right.
Okay.
So GoPro's still a really big market player, and they're not dead just yet, but we'll see.
All right, that's cool.
We'll see what happens. What's the next subject?
Well, this guy Jack wants to know like about your giveaways, man. You should tell your audience what's going on.
Well, the giveaway, yeah. Giveaways will happen at the very end. I'm gonna go over all that stuff, so don't worry, guys. When it comes to that, let's see. And
what else is going on?
And the giveaway will have you have to secretly recite something that was mentioned earlier, so you couldn't just jump in.
So
I'm kidding. It's gonna be like a random selection. Don't worry. Okay, so I think. So I
you
just
got some Intel stuff to talk about.
Yeah. So Intel architecture. So Intel has announced that they're going to be doing a new Ice Lake Core 8. Now, this is even before we've gotten Coffee Lake, which is interesting, but Intel generally would do that. They'll start announcing their next generation CPUs. Now, again, I know you're not really an enthusiast, but you do use a lot of Intel stuff.
Yeah,
right?
I still build PCs.
So basically, right now, we've got our enthusiast. You have like a 4-core at home. 4 threads, 4-core. And Intel is going to now sort of. What happens is, you've got AMD Ryzen, and AMD Ryzen has been killing the game when it comes to the new enthusiast market.
Yeah, that's their comeback.
And Intel's freaking out, man. They can't
come
handle
up with
it.
Something.
Right. Like, I mean, their last launch was a complete failure. Nobody cared. It was terrible. Yeah. And now we're seeing them coming out with a new enthusiast grade processor. They've always had high core processors, right? But it's always been like considered like the high end PCs, where like it costs a ton of money to get into the space, and AMD introduced this market where you can get an 8-core, you can get a 10-core for under $1,000. Like,
but that was AMD's always like back, like way back when there was still like Pentium 4s. AMD was always about just like you can get power, but at a cheap price, and like I used to build tons of gaming rigs just using like AMD processors.
Yeah.
So that's still their initiative today. Because I figured they were just neck and neck, but I wasn't sure. It was like, oh, you can still get the same thing, but for cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, that's AMD's value proposition right now. They're like, hey, you can get an 8-core, you can get a 6-core, you can get a 6-core, 12-thread for $300. I mean, that's so cheap. Like, that's unheard of. Like, before, back in the day, you wanted 6 cores on Intel, you got to build an X99 system and spend all this money. The motherboards are expensive, everything's expensive, but now you got these cheaper CPUs. And the main thing about this whole article is that I'm pretty sure that the pricing for this is probably going to try to be as competitive as possible with Ryzen. Intel is probably shaking in their boots right now. I've never seen them be so aggressive now when it comes to actually improving. They have this whole TikTok thing where they'll go, oh, okay, a little bit of upgrade, and then they started doing 2 ticks in between the talk. So now it's like, or 2 talks between the tick. I forgot which way it goes, but they were doing even less power in between each unit, and it's getting ridiculous. And I think it's finally time that we've seen some competition. I'm so happy for AMD. I'm glad they're killing it right now.
They came back. I thought
they are. it's good for everybody, and this is great to see. The point being is they're launching new CPUs, and I'm pretty sure this is to counter Ryzen, and we'll see what happens in the future.
So this is going to be like their new like higher end, or this is going to be like a lower end CPU to compete with the Ryzen?
So this is gonna be the gamer. This is gonna be like the gamer. So
Okay.
So Intel will generally do two different ones. They'll do like a lower end and higher end. And it's not really lower, but it's like more. It's lower. It's lower cores, more clock speeds.
Okay.
Then you have higher cores, slower clock speeds. And then basically, it's always better to have higher clocks for a lot of gaming. But now that AMD Ryzen is making it possible for anybody to have it, developers are going to start making games that actually utilize more cores. So Intel needs to keep up.
Okay.
All right. So. In our very final subject for the day before we get to the giveaway, guys, I'm gonna make Kevin do a lightning review of Destiny 2.
Oh God!
You have I'm gonna get my timer up here, and you have 2 minutes to give us a review on Destiny 2.
Hold on.
You want to start now?
You can start.
I really kind of want to bore everybody who's not into gaming, but let's.
It's good that you guys are now getting a Destiny as a PC game, but honestly speaking, this game. It's not worth $60.
Okay.
Not worth $60. The only thing that pissed me off about it, it's like if you were a Destiny player beforehand and you paid for all the expansion packs and everything, and you went through all the raids, you put in all this work, grind for gear, they give you nothing at all as a reward of like they do this cheesy thing where they go through all your history like great, you completed like Glass and like all this other raids and everything. You did like all these accomplishments, and then it's like great. We're gonna trash all your gear, whatever you have, and you're starting from scratch. Now, I will admit, like, game is fun as far as like just playing the combat. They changed up, which is really good. The guns are cool. They made some improvements there, but it doesn't feel like a whole new game as they promised everyone. That's my whole letdown, and it's the same thing of like, oh, great. We're going to give you all these things that you've been nagging us for, where it's like way larger maps and like tons of planets and all these things you could explore. All they do is basically take Destiny 1, I feel, and add a story to it. That was it. Nothing makes sense. You see that like there are Guardians and you
don't give any spoilers.
All right. Anyway, but there's just still a lot of gaps in this story if you played Destiny 1, but you literally feel like you're playing Destiny 1 all over again with just slightly different maps, but a better combat system. That's my take on it. I don't think it's worth $60. I feel like you should just hang out and wait.
So it should have been an expansion is what you're saying.
This definitely should have been an expansion, and they're going to do the same thing again where it's like, great, we gave you this. Now we got like another expansion coming up within the next 6 months to a year that you could pay $20 to $30 for, and the same thing. Don't think it's worth it at all. Great game, but not worth $60 at all. Still a huge letdown if you're a Destiny fan, in my opinion.
Look at that, with 10 seconds left. So thank you for that review, Kev. I haven't actually played Destiny 2 just yet, but I do plan on picking up a PS4 and playing that game soon. So oh wow, actually literally with the timer. Okay. Anyway, all right. So now it's time. So first off, we're gonna do a little. I feel like I'm so out of tune with the chat, so I'm gonna do a little chat time. Then we're gonna get some giveaways, guys. We're gonna give away some cool stuff. I missed last week's episode, and two things. So number one, I missed last week's episode. So in this episode, we're gonna give away two things because I was supposed to give away something last week, right?
All right. What goodies you got, man?
What's up?
What goodies you got?
Oh, I got stuff.
Okay.
I got stuff. Okay, so number one, here's how we're gonna do this. Well, okay, so before we even get into that, let me look at the chat because I feel like I've been out of tune with the chat.
See, TechVlogs agrees with me. It's not worth $60 at all. Like that game.
Okay. All right, we'll do something dedicated to that in the future. All right. Yeah. All right. So first off, let me just read the chat for a little bit because I'm so.
I mean, they seem like they're just as angry about Destiny as I am.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm getting some Destiny feedback right now.
Some good Destiny feedback. You're right. Okay. So. Like I said, first off, I'm gonna be switching this live stream to once every other week for now because my life is in complete shambles and I've kind of got to get my life together. So
okay.
There probably won't be an episode next week, but the week after there will be.
So you find out a good schedule and let them know.
Yeah. So I wanted to do this every single week, but I was an idiot and started this at the wrong time. I probably should have waited. But I do plan on resuming this. So. I'm gonna try to do this more often, and we'll see exactly what we end up doing with this video. But I like this. I like kind of just hanging out, chatting with you guys, talking with the people, and all that jazz.
Yeah, I mean, chatting with you guys was fun. Well, maybe they should probably let you know when they feel like you should probably do your next episode.
Yeah. But I got a life. I got to schedule around my own life.
That's true. That's true. That's fair. All right.
That's how it works. But either way, I'm gonna keep on trying to bring you guys all the dopest content I possibly can, here on the channel. Do me a favor, like this video and share it with a friend, maybe after it's posted or now.
Yeah, smash some likes. Whatever. People who either like Destiny, want to find out some nice nitty gritty details about the iPhone launch.
Yeah.
Even some cool stuff about PUBG, like.
Or just want to chill and chat with us. I don't know. I want to do cool things like bring people in via Skype and stuff. I don't know. I just like have a conversation about tech. And that's sort of this actually was the goal of me doing this in the first place. Like, as much as I like doing YouTube stuff, that wasn't actually the plan. The plan was to create a platform where I could have a conversation about technology, because so often, and this is actually something we remember like long time ago, 2 Angry Nerds, I kept trying to push you like, yo, and then I had high tech news.
Yeah.
So this is just something that I like having conversation about technology, and I could do this all day. I can have a debate, and I'm not at the point where I can just continuously do that yet. But I'd love to get to that point one day. And I just like talking about technology, my thoughts and opinions. There's so many different perspectives and ideas of how technology affects our life and affects our world and the markets and all this crazy stuff. Point being is, I want to make this a thing, and it'll be cool if you guys help me out. So like I said, like the video, share it with a friend.
Yeah.
Do something cool. So
cool.
Anyway, back to the giveaway. So I'm gonna give away some stuff here.
You guys got some swag coming your way.
It's not swag. It's like stuff I have to mail to people.
All right.
Okay. So basically, again, I'm gonna get in tune with the chat for a couple of seconds, and then I'm gonna tell you guys what you have to do. It's not gonna be anything very difficult. I mean, we got a couple of people viewing. Some people are gonna be not qualified.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Jack, a lot, man. Yeah, he definitely has some good content on his channel, man. Glad to hear that you're a subscriber.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, but don't worry. Some people are not going to be qualified for the giveaway, so you guys have some pretty good chances. I'm going to give away today. I'm going to give away, because it's small, I'm going to do another Steam gift card, and we're going to do a G900.
Oh,
Chaos
check it out!
mouse.
All right, nice.
So this is good. This is a good mouse. I use this mouse for my gaming.
I do recall seeing that a lot of PAX when we went to PAX Boston.
Yeah, no, this mouse is a killer. It's not the brand new one that like charges. It's not the brand new one that charges by a pad, but it is
sexy, man.
It's a dope mouse. So unfortunately, the only thing is that you have to be a US resident, just because I'm paying for all this stuff out of my pocket. Like, I gotta go to the store and I gotta like pay my credit card bill and all that stuff. So I can't like be wild and like ship this across the world. But you do unfortunately have to be in the U.S. just because I get like a flat rate box and I can ship it to you.
Find a buddy in the U.S. If you live outside the country that you trust that can ship this to you.
Yeah. And that's pretty much. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I can do it international. I think there are some people that are around the world. And if not, if you're in the U.S., then hey, screw it. Then the other will be another $50 Steam gift card, so you guys can buy whatever you want. I don't know. You want to play some games? Shout out to my sponsors who hooked. Oh no. All right, so hold on. We got some technical difficulties. Bear with us for like 1 second. Oh, snap. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Oh, crap. Yeah, Kev, just keep it. They can still hear you.
Oh, you guys can still hear me. Yeah, we'll be back shortly. Just gotta swap out cams. Anyway, yeah, this mouse is pretty dope though, gotta admit. But thank you for everyone out there that shares my feelings on Destiny 2. I gladly do like to tweet Bungie and share my opinion on certain things. But let's see who's the lucky guy that's gonna end up with this mouse though.
Keep them occupied. Sorry.
Logitech makes some cool products. Yeah, man, stream was too lit, man. That's how it be sometimes. Ski mask? No, we can't promote these sorts of things out here. But I probably would wear a ski mask. So, yeah.
Oh,
So, what is everyone's opinion on? Yeah, throw us some more opinions. I want to hear everybody's like, who's gonna get the iPhone X? Who actually thinks the 8 is still worth it? All right, I hear you, Carlos. Maybe. Yes, the stream is fuego, indeed fuego. So I mean, I'm a Xbox One guy only because I really favor the controller. I still do play some PS4 games. If it's not like their primary stuff, if it's not Metal Gear, Uncharted, that kind of stuff, then like you'll catch me on Xbox Live. I feel like it might be divided now. Who's getting the Xbox One X? That'd be a good question.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys.
We're back. We got some new gear.
Yeah, we had little technical difficulties. Apologize about that.
They missed my face, man.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, again, so all you guys gonna have to do. So last time I tried to do this through Twitter, and I'm gonna do it again. All you guys have to do is drop me a tweet. You gotta. All right. So first of all, you gotta be subscribed to the channel, and I mean,
yeah, subscribe.
You gotta be subscribed to the channel.
Smash that like button. Subscribe. See some cool videos.
Yeah, you gotta like the video, all that stuff. And just do me a favor. Drop me your Twitter here, your Twitter handle here, in the chat, and then we'll pick 2 people, and then all you gotta do is like. I'll have you drop me, a tweet, and we'll do some DM stuff, and we'll get you out your stuff. So the first person I pick will have the choice between either the Steam gift card or the mouse, and then, the second person will end up with whatever's left. So we'll do that, and just either you guys. I'll also give you guys my Twitter account. So my Twitter account is gonna be frantech_. So it's just gonna be frantech_. That's it. Super simple. You guys can drop that. You can either shoot me a tweet or you can just drop your Twitter handle right here. And I'm going to have my buddy Kev pick one of the winners, and I'm going to pick the other. And we're just going to go ahead and...
All right, so how should we do this? Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, you can just...
I don't want to be biased and look for the one person that
and you know the people not to pick. Like,
Yeah.
Right. I appreciate all my homies and all my friends supporting me and stuff like that. But I got to do this for the people who watch my channel. Thank you guys.
All right, let's see. Let's go back to the Destiny area. I want to see who was like.
Yes, Twitter. Yeah, Vlad, Twitter. And if you don't have a Twitter account, that's fine. Just say I don't have a Twitter account, and I'll still count. So don't worry about it. But yeah, you just have to. Can I put this up on the screen? Let me see if I can do this real quick.
No, that seems like you got too much. Like, let's see who really wants this mouse though. Like, who's really in the PC game?
No, just pick somebody, man.
No, I got people in mind. It's like I want to see what this person shouts out. Actually, yeah. I mean, let's give it to the homie Tech Vlogs.
Okay, cool. So, Tech Vlogs will be our first winner. Congratulations, buddy. And then let's see. Let me pick number 2 real quick. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. Let me just my eyes are bad. I'm just trying to read the chat. Sorry, guys.
I think your buddy Ty Joe might want to get that.
No, we let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. He's moved. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. And let's see. Who's number 2? I'm sorry it's taking me so long. Guys, I think I'm going to give it to this person. And Jack H, you are the second winner.
All right, congrats,
so
Jack.
Congrats,
man.
buddy. Yeah, we're just like doing some random stuff here, but yeah, Jack H, you are a second winner, buddy. So guys, so what you can do is I'm gonna put my email right here, fran@franstechcorner.com. So that's my email. Tech Vlogs and Jack H. Do me a favor, drop me an email, and just show me that you're following me on Twitter, and then also show me you follow me on Twitter, and just show me like your like a screenshot of like your YouTube channel or whatever. And boom, we're good to go. And I'm gonna send you guys off that the mouse. I gotta like ship it and stuff, so that's gonna take a little bit. But the SIM card, just a code, so I can give that to you right away.
Oh,
so,
yeah, for sure. Your buddy Ty Jones wants you to do a comparison between Samsung and iPhone.
Oh yeah, so. Definitely. There's gonna be a gajillion, like there's gonna be a ton of that. We're gonna have the Samsung phone. We're gonna have all that stuff. And yeah, we're gonna do some cool stuff. Anyway, guys, I don't want to make this stream too long for anybody who might be rewatching it, but thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully you guys got my email. I'm going to post it again. So Jack H and Tech Vlogs, go ahead and drop me that. Fran at franstechcorner.com, even though it's not my channel name anymore.
Yeah. Glad you love the show, man. We'll try to do some more for you guys.
Yeah. We're definitely going to, like I said, I'm going to do my best. Like next week, I doubt it. If I do end up doing it, I'll definitely post another video letting you guys know I'm going to do it first.
Figure out a time and then definitely let everybody know. Feel free to share the link, smash the like button.
Right. And we're going to... Yeah, we're gonna
to the similar content. Let them know.
Oh my God! All right, okay, all right. Anyway, this is all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining the stream. This is over. Thanks. All right, bye.
Later, guys.